thank you, Teacher Michael, for the opportunity. So yeah, and the later time I get here on the courses language, I could read one book is Be Yourself Superstar because I'm new student, but it's the one book I can read. So yeah, I'm gonna try to say what I learned in that book because I'm new is the only book I sorry I could read. Yeah, Be Yourself Superstar. Like the name said it, be or sales superstar. I can say or I can put another name like is be be the one of best salespeople. If I want the opportunity to put another name, I can try to say this name. Be the one of best superstar. And that book I learned that it will not be easy to start up your business is it will not be that overnight. Sometimes you must to take time because in that book you see the most popular salespeople in that world. They work for someone else. Most of the parts on their life, they work for someone else, and after that, for a long time, they work for someone else, and they see it was the bad way because they want to be someone someone I can say someone who have a lot of money, but they see that that way is very bad for them, and they finally want to change their life, and they read a book or they search for knowledge, and they set up your own business. And that book you can always see in the first month they set up your business. One of them just earned $10, and the another month these men won $100. It's not be easy, but step by step you can do it. And I can also learn in that book that you will be brave, but because sometimes there are people very shy, and it can be very very bad for you. In that book, you can see the fear is one of the obstacles that hold you back. And that book will give you a lot of advance in your life that can will be better for you in your future if you want to be a business woman or businessman. And we learn how to prepare our training scale. For example, if you are someone who is selling online, you learn that how to attract them to sell your stuff because you must to be a people who have a I can say you have a way to talk well and to attract people to sell or to buy your stuff. Yeah, and we I can always learn that book. You know how to treat your customer and how to be your best super staff. And yeah, I think it also yeah. And I didn't regret never having reading that book because I learned a lot of things, even though I'm young, but I know that thing will be very, very, very good for me in the future. So it's one of book I could read for now, but I hope I can read more and I
Mm-hmm.
can learn more about this topic that this. So it was all. Thank you one more time, Teacher Michael.
Yes, thank you. And congratulations, our beautiful lady, Bisana. You did a really good job. I really appreciate it. Even though you're kind of new out here, only a month. But I really congratulate you because you get opportunity like to learn and also to read as well and also to practice English. I thank you and I really appreciate it. Okay, so don't forget, guys, that the topic that we're talking about it's about business and marketing. We already covered the question number one, number two. So now we are in the question number three, and don't forget tomorrow we're gonna get the club. It's going to be the question number four, five, and six. And on Sunday we're gonna be on TikTok. Unfortunately, we're not going to be on Zoom. We're gonna be on TikTok. So now we're gonna go with our dear brother, Mr. Ginaldo. The question says, have you ever read any books related to business, marketing, and sell? If yes, what have you learned, brother?
Yeah, thank you for having me once again. Yes, I've recently read a book that's talking about the six essential way to succeed in a business, and also I've learned retail management, which is not a book, but it is something related to business. But I'm gonna say something about both of them. Um, I'm gonna try to be short because I know we run out of time right now. So first thing I would like to say, it's about the book, Six Essential Ways to Succeed in Your Own Business. A book written by Brian Tracy, which is a very interesting book. The first thing I'm gonna mention is not only in that book, but Brian Tracy mentioned that in almost all the book that I have the opportunity to see something in. He always talk about where he coming from, which is a very good point for me because he always explained his life at some point that he was like a poor person. So he was one out of money. So the lesson that I got from that is that he encouraged people to not limit themselves. So this is the first thing I learned from that book. And about business, something I've learned from that book is that one idea can change your life. So sometimes we read book, we read short article and everything. So we even think about it. I want to do this, I want to do that, but we never really get into anything. But that book is a book that will encourage you to take action. Not only read that book, but take action. When you read that book, it gives you the eager to do something. You know. So I think in that book, one of the thing, one other thing that I really like about it is like when you read that book, Brian Tracy mentioned something which people really don't really pay attention. So he said that the two way that business work is more sell and low sell. So sometimes we are focused on more money, but we are not focused on selling. I was talking about my community when I first talked about that subject. So in my community, we focus on money. So when you're focused too much on money, you don't think about the quality of the product that you're gonna sell. So you only focus on money. And people, as Miss Neftali already mentioned, they want quality, not only that the product, but they want quality. So if someone buys something from you and they have a bad experience with that product. So don't expect that person will come back to you and buy another product. So I think yeah, this is something that Brian Tracy really mentioned, which is really important. So you have to focus on your product like your kids. So I was like caught off guard when I first heard that you're supposed to consider your product as you love your kids. So that was sounds insane for me. But when I was thinking about it, I just understood what he meant when he said that because you don't have to give or sell people. I'm sorry to say that word. You don't have to sell people something that gonna make any change in their lives. So this product will not have any value on the market. So why would someone buy something from you if it's not gonna have any impact on their lives? So for me, in that book, this is something uh, I recently learned, and I really appreciate the fact that Brian Tracy mentioned that, and I'm not regret to read that book. I also start to read the book. be a sales superstar, but I'm not gonna talk about it right now because I'm not that far. So just to talk about the retail management a little bit short. I'm not gonna go long about it because I don't wanna waste too much time, you know. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about retail management, something that I've learned in an app that I have, which is called Allison. I don't know if you guys heard about Allison, which is a very good app to learn. It's for free. I got a certificate about it, but I don't really focus on the certificate because I'm more about knowledge. I don't really worry about papers right now. So yeah, so the first thing I learned um in that course it was retail management. So it was how to manage um a retail store. So when it comes to manage a store, you have to deal with staff and complaints from like public stuff like that. And there is something that we call merchandising. So the merchandising is the ability to generate additional sales from the customer. So it's the way that you can attract the customer in your business to get additional. So I remember, Teacher Michael, we were talking about like money, but at that moment I remember I was really quiet because I didn't really have knowledge about money, because you talk about financial stuff. And I remember you were giving some vocabulary about that when we were talking about impulsive. When people spend money, they didn't plan to spend. So the retail management have this on it because you have to attract your customer. Sometimes I call it like scam. A professional scam because you try to get a manner to help to make them feel so comfortable so they can even spend money they didn't even expect to spend it at that moment because it's all about like stocking displays. It's all about that. Like there is a lot of quality requires, but it's for people who already in that field who want to do it. So we have also pricing. I'm not gonna talk about it because I'm gonna go too long. So yeah, it was my point of view about that beautiful subject, and thank you for listening.
Yes, congratulations, brother. I really thank you. And I'm so happy to get you as my bird because we're kind of flocking together. I really thank you. Even though we don't really get things that we really need, but I know in the future we're gonna get it. Do you understand? Because we get knowledge, we get brain. I really think, and I really congratulate you because while here, people think that you're here, it's only speak English. Yeah, speak English, but you should know what to say about. Do you understand? Thank you a million, our dear brother, Mr. Ginaldo.